Hello and a very good morning. We are from Group 5 and we will talk about contingent value method in this video. So, what is CVM? Contingent valuation estimates the value of non-market goods, which involves asking people about their willingness to pay or willingness to accept, can be used for new policies, projects, or to assess the value of changes in the availability of goods. Surveys are a common method. Results are analyzed to estimate the average willingness to pay or accept, and limitations include reliance on stated preferences and subjectivity. How does it work? Researchers first conduct a survey in which they ask people about their willingness to pay for the non-market good in question. Based on the response to the survey, researchers can estimate the overall value that people place on the non-market good. This can be useful for policymakers who need to make decisions. Like, a local government is considering purchasing and preserving a tract of land home to wildlife. Researchers conduct a survey to estimate the value people place on the conservation of this area. The government uses this information to decide whether or not to proceed with the purchase. Next, let's look at two examples of contingent valuation method. Case 1. The situation. One of the highest profile uses of contingent valuation method in water resources management involved the re-regulation of Grand Canyon Dam. In the early 1980s, it became clear that continued operation of the dam to provide peak load power was adversely affecting the downstream ecosystem in the Grand Canyon. The valuation question of concern was how much recreational rafting was worth compared to the market value of the peak load power supply. The application, the Bureau of Reclamation and National Park Service worked with a consulting firm to develop a contingent valuation survey to estimate how the value of rafting changed with different flows in the Grand Canyon. The study attempted to quantify how the value of rafting in the Grand Canyon would change with even more base flows, as compared to reduced flows during peak hour periods. The study found substantial economic values for rafting with increased water flow of $2 million per year. The impact of the contingent valuation analysis helped change perspective about how economic trade-offs should be discussed. The result: more even flows were put into place while the final environmental impact studies were being prepared. Congress formalized these flows when it passed the Grand Canyon Protection Act of 1992. The study did represent one of the first federal-funded projects to estimate non-use values. It was one of the first contingent valuation studies included as part of a federal-funded economic analysis. Next is Case 2. The situation. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission faced a licensing decision where one important issue was how much water the utility company should allow to flow over the falls at a recreation area. Increasing the flow over the falls would result in less hydropower generated, but more water for recreation. The previous license required only a minimum in-stream flow of 50 cubic feet per second, which reduced the flow over the falls through a trickle. The application. Contingent valuation survey was developed to determine how much visitors to the falls would be willing to pay for increased overflow levels. The survey instrument included pictures of the falls at 4 different flow levels and a series of valuation questions. It was mailed to a sample of previous visitors to the site. The key survey questions asked how much individuals would pay to visit the falls with each of the 4 floor levels depicted in the photos, and how many times they would visit each year at the 4 different floor levels. The results from the case 2 shows a statistical analysis of the survey result was used to estimate a total recreation benefit function. The resulting optimum floor level during the summer months, when visitation was high, was calculated as 500 cubic feet per second, which was 10 times larger than the existing minimum instrument flow. Let's go to the advantages of CVM. CVM is based on economic utility theory and can generate reasonable estimation. The majority of biases may be removed by proper survey planning and execution. At the moment, it is the only approach available for calculating key non-use values linked with natural resources. Other than that, it has been efficiently applied in a number of scenarios, is continually being developed in order to render the procedure more dependable. Let's go to the disadvantages of CVM. The respondents may be unfamiliar with the item or service being rated and lack a solid foundation for describing its genuine worth. Respondents may place a higher value on the gratification, warm glow of giving than on the worth of the products or service in the issue. Because the financial repercussions of their comments are not enforceable, respondents may fail to take questions seriously. Other than that, external validation of non-use values estimates is challenging. The declared intentions of readiness to pay may outweigh genuine sentiments. And finally, the results may appear to contradict rational choice principles. To wrap it all up, the CVM is a survey-based technique used to establish the value of a given non-market good and is the only technique available for estimating non-use values. In addition, from these responses, the researchers can statistically determine an economic value for the natural resources or environmental good in question. So that's all from Group 5, starting with NURUL, SYAFIQA, ALMIRA, AQMARINA, Nur Nazirah Nadiah, NURAIN SYAFIQA MAISARAH, NADZIRAH ATINA, NURUL IZZAH, and CLARISSA ORDINE. That's all from us. Thank you for listening.